Hey YouTube, Bob here with my first video in about 3 years, and in that time I did move to a new house. It's got a nice big backyard for my two dogs, Timmy and Toby, to run around in, and it's got a nice big basement for me to, well, sit around and play in. So that's what I want to show you today. We're going to go on a game room tour in my basement. So without further ado, let's go. So here it is. Welcome to the basement. As we get the door open here on the right hand side, got a little tribute to the book and the movie Ready Player One, which is where my basement takes its name. Simply the basement. It was H's basement in the book and in the movie. But then down here on the left, we have what I refer to as the staircase of Arrested Development, which are just some things from my childhood that now that I have a bigger space, actually have some area to display them. And I thought on the way down to the basement would be the best place for some of those things. So these are just things that kind of bring me back to my happy place when I was a kid, which is kind of the whole goal of this basement here. Just a place to retreat to when life gets hectic. So as we come down the stairs here, this first area, there's going to be three main areas of the game room. This one is the most different to other collection videos that I've done in the past, because this is pretty much the extra space that I've gained in having moved to this new house. So starting over here in the rec room, we've just got some more framed art, Legend of Zelda. And this wall is just kind of reserved for framed art and displays of games that I really like, franchises that I really like, etc. So starting here, we got some framed work of Guacamelee and Guacamelee 2. Sonic Mania. And then the games of Guacamelee. And then some Nintendo books. And then down there, that's just kind of a space holder. I've got my 3D Dot Game Heroes Player's Guide and just a Sonic plush that I won at GameWorks several years ago. Over here in this little IKEA display, starting at the top, we've got a lot of Zelda things here. Some Zelda player guides, some of the extra chests from that box set of player's guides, and the Master Sword and coin that came with the special box edition of Breath of the Wild. And then down on the middle tier here, we've got more player's guides, soundtrack for Breath of the Wild, and figurines. And then I got some of the mini consoles. Got the Genesis, Super NES, NES, and TurboGrafx. Bottom tier is just some pull-out drawers where I've got some extra power adapters, AV cords, things that, you know, are necessary if things break down, but things that I don't really use on a regular basis. Coming on over to the next one, we've got Switch Joy-Cons charging. And then the top of this little cube display and the first tier is my Okami Collection. So we've got the first four figures, lighted Amaterasu statue. Pretty cool. And then I did several years ago a video on my Okami Collection. It's grown a bit since the Xbox One and PS4 and Switch remasters have come out, but those are really the only things that have been added since I did that collection video several years ago, aside from the Amaterasu statue. Then down on the middle tier, just some Club Nintendo rewards from the last several years when Club Nintendo was around. Got the button set, the block box that the Mario figurine came in. You'll see that a little bit in just a moment, actually, when we see the soundtrack shelf that I have. And then my little Year of Luigi. Got the figurine from the Nintendo Power Club rewards, and then a Nendoroid figurine as well. And then some more storage for things that I don't use too regularly. In this display here, the Mega Yarn Yoshi Amiibo, the specialized character controllers for Wii and Wii U, and then the regular and special edition of the Super Mario Encyclopedia. As I understand it, the special edition, which is the question block one, there's a different cover inside each one, and I haven't opened it. I don't know which one I have, but I'm not going to keep buying them to get all the covers. One will do just fine. Then up here's some framed Chrono Trigger artwork. These are the posters that actually came with the game. Then heading on over here, have some storage. And then my framed Mario Maker poster from 2015. Then heading on down below, we've got some soundtracks, and there's that figurine, the Mario figurine that was in that yellow block box. Got my Famicom anniversary soundtracks, and then on these shelves here I don't really have too much to put on them yet, so I just put some of my favorite soundtrack covers and faced them so that they make a nice display. And then in the middle there I've got the Super Mario 64 soundtrack and the Killer Instinct Gold soundtrack, so I figured I might as well put those next to my sealed copies of those games. There was never released to my knowledge a physical version of the Wave Race soundtrack, but Wave Race 64 is another game that I have sealed, so that's where that goes for now. And then down below, since I really couldn't find another place to put it, is my Virtual Boy case. It's kind of on the other side of the room from the actual Virtual Boy, but for now it fits fine just there. Then heading around to the TV of the rec room, we've got my Rock Band and Guitar Hero drums and guitar. Got some framed Secret of Mana artwork, the cover that I got on Etsy. And then this is the big TV for the more modern rec room here. It's kind of a mix of modern and retro because on this TV, which behind it I've got some framed Sonic posters. On this TV I play some more of the more modern things. I've got Wii U and Wii. And then down here on the right hand side is my Switch. But here, these are some retro consoles. These are the analog. We've got the Mega SG on the left and the Super NT on the right. And I don't know if you know anything about those, but those are fantastic ways to play some of the retro games. They aren't the cheapest in the world, but if you want a flawless experience on a modern TV, that's pretty much the way to go. I did have the NT Mini Noir pre-ordered. It was supposed to come in August, but unfortunately it got delayed to November, I think. But that's understandable these days, unfortunately. And in these pull-out drawers here, you got controllers for all the systems here that are more modern, including the 8-bit controllers for Super NES, Sega Genesis, and the NES, which are terrific. They're totally wireless, and I don't notice any latency whatsoever. Same deal over here. Got the controllers for the systems above. And then, oh, I almost forgot, I already showed you guys the Switch, which is just kind of hanging out over here on the side. Got the PS3 as well. The PS3 these days I use more as a Blu-ray player, so I don't have to occupy another HDMI port on my TV with a dedicated Blu-ray player. The PS3 will work just fine. But speaking of HDMI ports, down below here I have switch boxes for each HDMI port. This TV only has 3, so there's 3 switch boxes. And each switch box has 4 on it, so 3 times 4 is 12. So I've got 12 HDMI ports on this TV. And as it stands, they're almost all occupied. Down here is a USB charger to charge all the wireless controllers. But then coming up, TV with soundbar. Then I've got my framed Sonic the Hedgehog posters. That glare that you see, this is going to be interesting. I come down to the back of the TV here. Got some LED strip lights that just kind of illuminate this corner. And this is kind of a unique setup in this particular basement because, as you saw, there's a lot of empty space back there. And I decided to keep it that way because I like having the TV more out in the room. And actually, in order to get back there, I just have to move the Rock Band drums over, and then I can get back there entirely. And it's really easy to get back here and make all the connections to the TV. Looks like kind of a mess, but that's just kind of the way it goes. Alright, before we move on, kind of give you a 360 shot of this part of the room right here. Again, when you come down the stairs, this is the part of the basement that you're in. Call it the rec room. And we move on to this little area right here. I call this the retro room. And now you're going to start to see lots of things that will be familiar to you if you've seen any of my other collection videos. These are the areas of the basement where I found to put those things. So starting over here, got the Metroid poster. This is almost exactly as it was in my old place. Got the IKEA bookshelf with my Animal Crossing cards, some versions of Monopoly and other Nintendo games, and then the complete collection of Nintendo Power magazine that I made the little custom divider cards for that tell you when the volumes start and stop along with the particular years. This, however, right in front of me is a new addition. This is a coffee table that I had refinished. And the reason I did that, this is the coffee table that my original NES was on when I was a kid, like, 8, 9, 10 years old. So thought it would be nice to have in my new modern gaming room. And right now, it's currently being used to complete a puzzle. Almost there. We got all the fun parts done, and now it's just the plain blue, which is not so fun. Maybe we'll finish it, maybe we won't. But moving along here, this is my little retro corner where all my original systems are and hooked up, and they're playable here. This lamp right here has got my brochures. I did a video on every single brochure that I have from Nintendo consoles and handhelds. Got the Punch-Out Game & Watch, and then the Super Mario chess. Moving along here, little display. These are all the Nintendo consoles. NES, Super NES, N64, and GameCube. In that little cubby right there, I've got the cases for the mini consoles, or at least the NES and the Super NES. On the bottom left there, that's a speaker for the audio for the TV setup here. Got my Tetris lights. Those fit in that other cubby right there. And the modern not modern, but the retro CRT TV hooked up here. And then I've got the tuner down there for the audio so that it can come out those speakers that I showed you. And one of my retro CD players in case I feel like rocking out down here to some of my CDs. Moving along to the right, got the Frame Galaxy posters that if you've seen my other collection videos, those have been in. On the right here, these are the non-Nintendo systems that I grew up with playing, not necessarily owning. I did own an N64 and a PlayStation. My friend owned a TurboGrafx 16, and at the time I didn't really care for it, but going back to it, there are a lot of games that I really like Newtopia and Blazing Lasers and Legendary Axe. So lots of good things to be played on that system. Got the mirrored Tetris lit blocks down here. And unfortunately, several years ago, my Model 1 Sega Genesis Sega CD died. And in order to continue playing Sega CD games, I decided to hook up my Model 2 Genesis to a Model 2 Sega CD. And that one still works. And I've got all these hooked up, the Sega systems anyway, hooked up to this CRT with some Retrovision cables that I have done a video on in the past. So in this drawer, I got controllers and then the switch box for the Retrovision cables when I want to switch between the two Genesis consoles. The standalone one and then the Model 2 with the Sega CD attached. And then moving along just a little bit more to the right, got a lamp, which you've probably seen in my other collection videos. Just got some Mario memorabilia, a Super Mario World watch from when I was a kid, and then a different version of Mario Checkers. And then as we inch a little bit further to the right into the next part of the room, we've got this shelf that you've probably seen before if you've seen any of my other collection videos. On the top of it, we've got my TV Game 6, one of Nintendo's first video game consoles, dedicated console, and then a couple Game & Watches, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, and Donkey Kong. On the actual shelves of the unit, I've got all of my player's guide, organized and separated by my custom divider cards by system. and then those continue on the other side, but we'll get to that because that brings me to the third and final portion of the game room. But before we get to that, excuse me while I step around a dog. This is Timmy. Hi Timmy, say hi. I'm over here, buddy. Yeah, Timmy says hi, I think. So stepping back, here's a view of the retro corner. And a little shot of how it connects into the rec room. But where I stand right now is a little area I like to call Games Galley, because it's narrow. The basement's kind of an L shape. So you'll certainly recognize a lot of these things if you've seen my other collection videos. I've got the shelves with all my games, starting with Famicom. This little narrow shelf right here. Working my way back up, NES. With my NES poster. Kind of in the corner there, another shelf with Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and some other miscellaneous handheld items. Working our way over to Super NES, N64, GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, DS, and 3DS. Then I've got my other games mixed in here now as well. I've got all my Sega Genesis games, Sega Master System, PlayStation, PlayStation 3, and Sega CD. Oh, and TurboGrafx 16 as well. And then the posters and Famicom 25th Anniversary Game Boy Advance editions, along with some figurines along the top. And to the left here we've got a door. That's the workout room. Maybe I'll show you that at the end of this video, since it's probably not something that you came to see, but if you're curious I'll show you that at the end of the video. Working our way further to the left here in Games Galley, got a framed Wave Race poster, one of my favorite games of all time. Ocarina of Time poster. Then this little setup here, this one, like the table with the puzzle on it, is special to me because this Nintendo cart is something that I got for Christmas, I think when I was about 10 years old in 1990. And I used to have my NES on. This is what I put my NES on after that little coffee table that I showed you earlier. But right now it's kind of been relegated to my retro video station. I've made videos for each and every one of these Nintendo promotional VHS videos. So I burn them all to a DVD. And then the DVD player on top of the CRT TV just can loop those and be showing those. Got the remotes in the middle, and then down below I've got my Angry Video Game Nerd collection, along with some other video game related DVDs. The only bummer about this cart is that the door used to have a decal up top that had the Nintendo logo, and then a very big decal of Mario. And you know, teenagers get to that point in their life where they don't think that kind of stuff is cool anymore, and in order to keep using things like that, those types of things have to come off. So I think probably when I was around 16 or so I peeled off those decals. Kicking myself now, but oh well, at least I still have the cart. Then continuing on to the left here in Games Galley, these are things you've definitely seen before as well in my other Nintendo collection videos. Got the continuation of the Nintendo Player's Guides on the IKEA shelf here. You really don't make them too much anymore, so I got a lot of extra space here. Not really sure if they're going to be making guides for you know, some of the smaller games, but probably for the larger games like Legend of Zelda and Super Smash Bros. We'll keep seeing guides. What they're doing now to keep selling books, I've noticed, is instead of player's guides, they're doing things like art books. So that's kind of taken the place of the player's guides, because you can get all that information online and in YouTube videos nowadays. Okay, and then finally this piece, you've definitely seen it before in my other collection videos. At that point, when I was living at that other place, this was functional. You know, all the consoles that were on it, they were hooked up, and this is where I used them from. now that I have a different setup, this is just more of a display. This is kind of like my Nintendo shrine. It's got all the chronological consoles, you know, starting from 1983 with the Famicom, and then continuing on to modern day. I've got my Switch Lite right there, representing the Switch family of systems. This little cubby right here used to be where my TV was, but now my modern TV is over in that other section of the basement. And I've just got some more Nintendo things displayed here. Got the power pad, got the two robots, got the robot and ROB, robot from Japan, and robotic operating buddy ROB from the United States. Then up top, got all the handhelds. These go chronologically from left to right instead of from right to left. Keep them in bags because they become very tedious to keep dusting. A lot of nooks and crannies and stuff, so I just prefer to keep the dust off them altogether, especially since I don't really use them all that much anymore. I got the US and Japanese variations of all those consoles that had them, such as the Super Famicom and the NES and the Super NES and the Super Famicom. Those looked markedly different than each other, or than the other. Then up top here, you got the Virtual Boy and a frame piece of Link Between Worlds art that was a Club Nintendo prize at some point. So I'll step back here and give you a view. Actually, maybe I'll go into the workout room here and step even further back. There we go. Even got Puppy in the shot there. So I'll give you one last flyby of the basement, and then we'll head into the workout room after that. This is Games Galley. Got my retro room or retro corner. And then this is the rec room. And then as I take you back to the workout room, if you're interested, if not, you can just check out. But this will be pretty much the end of the video content for my new gaming room. I hope you've enjoyed it. But on our way back, I'll take you through and give you a little bit more detail about something you may have noticed in other parts of this video, which are the Amiibo. You probably remember way back, gosh, almost 10 years ago now. Well, not quite, but we're getting there. I did several videos on my adventures in collecting Amiibo when it used to be a lot more difficult. Well, now that there's so many, I needed to find a way to display all of them. So here they are, kind of lining the ceiling of the basement down here. I found these little black S hooks, and they work perfectly to kind of loop over that molding we have up at the top and then serve as a hook. So in this little modern TV corner here, we've got all the Super Mario series of Amiibo. And we've got some more of the special ones. Got the 30th anniversary and then the Mario Odyssey ones. Moving over to the left here, the Legend of Zelda Amiibos. And then Splatoon. Little break with a window. And then here, some one-offs. We've got the Pikmin and Metroid. And coming around this way, got Kirby series and Yoshi. Then on this I-beam here, which is a support for the house, got Animal Crossing. And then starting in this corner, all the Smash Brothers Amiibo. I don't even know how many there are at this point, but They line all of my retro corner, and then the games galley portion of the basement. And for several months there, of course, starting in like February, March, I hadn't seen any activity on the Nintendo website about, release dates of new Amiibo, and that's understandable given what's going on with the state of world affairs. But finally, in the last couple of weeks, they've announced two new Amiibo. I can't remember what they are, but I've got a little bit more room here before I run out of wall space for those next two entries. But anyway, that's pretty much all for now. You've seen just about everything in the new basement setup I got. Got the modern rec room, the retro corner, and then games galley. And then through that open door, if you're interested, you could stick around and take a look and see what's going on in the workout room. So here is the workout room. That's its main function, but it's also a place I found to put my music collection. So as we work our way around here, like in the games part of the basement, got a lot of framed artwork, this time of some of my favorite bands or autographs that I've gotten. T-shirts from concerts. The monitor that I use when I'm exercising, either on this stationary bike right here or on the treadmill. And then on these shelves right here on the right, the top, I've got all my phones from throughout the years, from my standard cell phones to flip phones to smartphones. And then below that, the retro TV on DVD. Probably get a good idea of my age just based on some of those shows there. Then moving over to the left, got the CD collection. And yep, I still do listen to CDs. Got an autograph from Big Bang Theory actor Kunal Nair, who played Raj on the show. And then here, got Christopher Lloyd's autograph, who of course played Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Got the audio set up with a tuner and CD player in a switch box, so I can switch back and forth between the Switch and the DVD player and the Google Chromecast. So I watch various media down here while I exercise or play Ring Fit Adventures. And then this framed piece is my autograph from Megadeth at the time. Got that lineup right there during the Risk days in 1999. And then a picture of young Bob rocking out with Dave Mustaine, lead singer and guitarist of Megadeth. Then no room of mine would be complete without one of my favorite lamps. It's got a lot of my music DVDs on it that I usually exercise to. Concert DVDs are great for exercising. Exercise equipment, towels, shoes, Ring Fit Adventure ring, treadmill, some more t-shirts, and framed artwork. Sophie B. Hawkins, I got her autographed several times. Gloria Estefan. And then down here, Boombox Collection. I do still listen to CDs. Hey, here's the other puppy. This is Toby. Doing a little stretch for us. Are you going to go the other way too? Okay. Got to complete the stretch. He's just going to chill in here with us as we wrap up. Down here, CD books with my CDs in them. And you've probably seen, if I take a step back, got lots of concert shirts, framed autographs from various artists. Some of my favorite album covers in little album frames. And when we first came in, you saw the Rush posters. I don't remember who said this, but I picked it up somewhere along the line. Somebody said, Rush goes in the special pile. And that's definitely the way I feel. Rush is not with my regular CDs. Rush gets its own freaking corner over here. Rush is my favorite band. Progressive metal, 80s synth pop, 90s rock. They've done it all, and they've done it superbly well. So that's the Rush collection. Rest in peace, Neil Peart. So, thank you for sticking to the end. If you've done so, you got a little bonus here that you weren't expecting, the workout room. But this is the fourth non-video game related portion of the basement. But I hope you enjoyed in any case, and you'll see me in the next one. Take care.